afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon, and a happy new month. Happy new month, and welcome to my live broadcast this afternoon, the 1st of October 2021. Mwaka upya. Hope you are going to have a wonderful month of October, a very productive month, a blessed month. All of you, my fans, my followers. So, like, that waste much of your time. If you don't mind, you can invite your friends to join us as I do this live broadcast here. I just want us to learn three things, some of the things in marriage that a wife should do to please the husband, and also be happy in a marriage. It's very important that as a wife to do these things. So I haven't mentioned a lot of them, but just three things which you can do to please your husband in marriage. So it's very important for a wife to be a wife to the husband, than the wife to be a husband. So three things that I need to mention that you can learn from, which is submission, respect, and also I want us to talk about nagging in marriage. It's very common to see these things happening in marriage. Lack of submission in marriage, and also lack of respect in marriage. These three things that I've mentioned right now, they're very important, but most women don't cherish them, or they don't do them, in short. So at the end of the day, you find that you have challenges in your marriage. You start calling each other here and there. So I specifically talk about women. As a woman, you start with submission. Submission as a woman is very much important. Every man wants a submissive wife. A wife who can listen to her husband. A wife who consults her husband before she does anything else. Which in turn, husband also does the same before making any decision. Despite him being the one who makes the decision in marriage, he seeks advice from the wife. But for the wife, can't make a decision about the husband unless in the difficult circumstances whereby a child is very sick. It's an emergency. You have to make a very, very quick decision because that is an emergency. So it's very important as a wife to be very submissive to your husband. Be a submissive. Be a listening wife. Listen when your husband is talking. Know when to argue with your husband on certain things. And as you argue with your husband on certain things, even if it might not make sense, at least you can know how best you can try to advise him with submissiveness in mind. So it's a very good advice for you women. A lot of men don't want a lot of things. They don't expect a lot of things from women, but just these things: respect, submission, and the absence of nagging in marriage. It's a plus. And it might not seem to be very much important to you as a wife, but it's very, very important. It goes a long way to improving your marriage in one way or the other. So, wives, you're encouraged to be very submissive to your husband. Yes. But when I say submissive to your husband, I don't mean anybody no. When someone is beating you, you learn for your life. And such a thing are not supposed to be tolerated, where your husband who loves you, who claims to love you, start beating you. It's not encouraged, you see. So the best you can do is do the right thing. Do what you are required as a wife to do, regardless of your status in life, your level of education. A husband need to be shown submissiveness by a wife. No matter how educated you be, no matter your class in the society, you may be a politician, you may be a doctor, maybe he's below you, but as long as you've accepted to get married to him, it is very important that you as a wife, you maintain submissiveness to your husband. Maintain submissiveness to your husband. It's very important. Very, very important. So keep in mind, for those who are contemplating on getting married, know that in marriage you're expected to be submissive. So submissiveness, it takes a lot of effort to submit. Sometimes some situations are not easy, but you just have to be submissive. But where it goes to violence and other like, that's where you're not supposed to tolerate violence from your husband. But submissiveness should be there at all times, so that peace, happiness can be restored in your marriage. Just some few simple things, small things, the one which matter most in marriage. You'll find that it's not big things that might matter much, but just those small things, the one which can cost your marriage. And some husband can't tell you to say, she's not submissive. She will just be watching you. Some, they don't know how to communicate their feelings. They don't know how to express themselves. And you end up infringing his rights as a husband. Because it's a command from the Bible, says as a wife you need to be submissive. Men also have got their law to pray in marriage. So each one of us is supposed to do his or her own law in marriage. So number one thing as a wife, you need to be submissive. Show submissiveness to your husband all the time. Your husband is going to be happy. You are going to be happy. Your husband is going to be pleased. I won't talk much because of time. I have some other things to do. Another thing is respect. Respect in and out. No matter the situation that you might be in your marriage, please, as a wife, maintain total respect to your husband. the same respect you receive from him, you should reciprocate it back to him. But regardless of situation where he doesn't show you respect, but as long as you are in marriage, each one, you are responsible for your own actions. If someone disrespects me, I should not disrespect that person back. Instead, what I'm supposed to do is I have to act different. I need to act different to show him that this is how people behave. This is how people should be. And this is how lovers need to treat each other. Or to show him, to say, this is how a wife should treat a husband. According to the Bible, according to just what society expects you to do. Yeah. So respect in and out. Mind what you talk, how you talk, when to talk. These things are very important. Very, very important. Very important. They look simple, but very important. So let's maintain total respect. Wives, maintain total respect to your husband. Plan out of some data. Yeah, so respect need to be maintained at all costs, regardless of the situation that you might be in. Respect has to be there. Respect has to be there. No man will tolerate or can stand a very disrespectful wife. No man. Very few men would stand a very disrespectful wife. No wonder you find that someone goes for work, doesn't come at home. It's because of some disrespect, that some of our men go through in these marriages. Yes. And they die inside. You torture them mentally. Men are not a talking type of people. They are not a talking type of people whereby such a sticker, they speak out. But it's very important that as a woman you be fair to your men, to your husbands, so that their mental health is balanced, is all right. Because mental health is very important for every human being, be it a lady or be it a man. So mind what you say, when to say it, and also see if what you're about to say adds value to your marriage, or it's going to build your marriage. I think I even said this in the last video that I had. Does whatever you say or whatever you criticize each other about add value to your marriage? Is it building your marriage? I find it very awkward where a person who claims to love the husband decide to disrespect that husband, or the wife, or the husband who loves the wife decide to disrespect the wife. But why? Why? Or even using insults on your spouse, someone you claim to love. That person is part of you. You are a fool. So when you are proposing that person, didn't you know that that person was a fool? And then when someone gets married, they call they are one flesh. How do you tell part of your flesh to be a fool. Oh, rich poor. Or, such kind of thing. So, those derogatory kind of words are not supposed to come into a wife's mouth to the husband. It takes away the pride that a man has. It takes away that respect. Umsalula is not very important. Let's be respectful to your spouses, especially you wives. Mwalikwata sana pakanwa twakulandana ndo twingi sana, so munasheko change for the better. Yeah, fwe mwakwatako eminsula and address things in a mature and wise way. No matter what your husband can do, don't let the whole world know that your husband is like this. Remember, one day you'll be happy together. Whatever conflicts might be between you will be sorted out at some point. And then once it's sorted out, how are you going to feel? Based on your imbalance, maybe to your neighbor, to your family. He does this. He's like this. Just because you're upset, because you're angry, and you lose respect. Regardless of the situation, you're not supposed to lose respect. No, it's very important even when you're addressing issues. You say, honey, but why did you do this to me? Why did you treat me like this? Why did you say this if your husband didn't say something that was right? You talk to him in a loving way, say, oh, but why, honey? Such kind of thing. Now, if you want to be 50-50 with him, you want to be a fool, how are you going to build your marriage? Unless if you don't want to stay in that marriage. If you want your marriage to be destroyed, you can do whatever you want. But again, why get into marriage if you know that you will not honor the vows of your marriage? Because amongst the vows, I'm sure respect is one of them. Submissiveness is one of them. Yeah. So respect is very, very important as a wife to your husband. Maintain total respect to your husband, as you expect to be respected by him and to be loved by him, because him has been commanded to love you. So be respectful. Don't be disrespectful. I hope it's clear on that one. And the last one is nagging. Anamayo, you like talking too much. Please, I repeat, please. A woman who talks too much, a nagging wife, is a big turn off. We do long you in one way or the other, but find a peaceful way of addressing issues. Just like I've mentioned, nagging and respect, they work, I think, hand in hand, because out of nagging, that's where even disrespect comes. So the Bible says a mouthful of words, sometimes it talks nonsense. So if you you'll find that most of the things that you'll be saying won't make much sense. Very few things will make sense to your husband, and that will be hurting his feelings. And how do you hate someone's feelings? Sometimes we do hate each other's feelings. Maybe I'm your husband, I've hurt your feelings unknowingly, but you assume that I know everything. I'm not a mind reader that you know that's happening along or not. But where you see that your rights are violated, where you see that you are being disrespected, where you see that the husband is not doing what is required to do as a husband, or is not talking as a husband, or as a loving husband, remind him in a respectful way. Tell him to say, this is what I was expecting from you. It would have been better if you did this and this and this. I would have appreciated, Those are kind words to use to your husband. So they don't know what is here. Yeah, so that's the thing. So let's try to talk to each other in a calm and peaceful way, not in a nagging way. I know I've heard a lot of people saying, if we're ready to nag, which means there is something, and a lady can't just be nagging her now. For her to nag, which means there is something that the husband is doing, regardless of whatever might be there. It's very important that you as a wife, you avoid the naggy part, but you can address your issues. I'm not saying you shouldn't address your issues when your husband is wrong, you can't address issues. No, you should address issues. As a person who is married, as a married wife, I expect that you have reached at a mature stage where you're able to weigh what is right and what is wrong. So once you're able to weigh those things, it's very easy for you to do what is right at a right time. Yes, I know you can make mistakes sometimes, trip, but at least try by all means. We are not perfect, but try by all means at least to maintain that level of respect, level of submission, level of maturity in avoiding nagging, instead addressing issue in a mature and wise way, in a mature and calm way. Yeah, we respect and appreciate such kind of gesture from you as our wives. We acknowledge correction where we go wrong, because we know we are not perfect. And the Bible says 2 is better than 1. When one falls, the other one lifts up. But you don't lift someone up by disrespecting that person. You lift that person by respecting, showing him the way. This is the way, honey. This is the way. This is the way we are supposed to move as a couple. This is the way I expect you to treat me. At least I'll be a happy person. If you want to make me happy, this is the way I expect you to treat me, to take me, or to talk to me. Don't teach me in a disrespectful way as your wife, because I'm your better half. I'm part of your flesh. Simple. Tell him that. Don't take away anything from you. It's not expensive to behave good to your husband. It's not expensive to be a respectful wife. It's not expensive for you to be a submissive wife. It's not expensive for you as a wife to avoid nagging. But it is costly for you to lack submission in your marriage. It is disrespectful, or it is costly for you to lack respect in marriage. It is costly for you to lack or to lack that ability to avoid nagging in your marriage. Very costly. Some of these things that you women do, they are very costly, but you can't see how costly they are. It's very easy to say something bad. Very easy. Just as it is easy to sin, it's very easy to break your marriage. You're just you are one decision away to break your marriage. So, as a wife, please. I know there are many things that can make your marriage, can make your husband to be pleased with you, and also for you to be happy. Because if you are not respecting him, you are not being submissive, and you are not avoiding nagging, I don't expect you to live in peace in that marriage. In as much as you inflict pain in him, expect also not to have peace in that marriage. You will be coming home late and you'll be questioning why, not knowing that you are the cause. Now you will start panicking, causing more harm than good. You create a problem, then start wondering why your husband has changed in your marriage, why he's acting in such a certain way. He will not tell you. That's how men are wired. We are wired different. We know you are talking what? You are talking people. You like talking too much as wives. Your nature is that of talking too much. You like expressing yourself, but as you express yourself, please show some submissiveness, show respect. Try to cultivate the ability to avoid nagging and address issues in a mature way. That will help your marriage. If you really love your husband and want to stay in your marriage forever, if you do these 3 things, at least they'll help your marriage to go a long way or last forever until death do you part. Very simple things to do and very important. If you don't do these 3 things, if your marriage lasts, unless maybe you use something else, but otherwise most of us men, we cherish if these things are being followed in a proper way. If submission is there, if respect is there, and also if a wife has the ability to avoid nagging, it's a plus to us. These other things, it's part of our imperfection, I guess, of which you just need to tolerate some certain things and accept who we are. There are some things that you cannot avoid, but like cheating, which is the topic of another day. I'll address that next time I come live on this fall again. So for now, this is what I thought we could teach each other. I would have loved if you guys were asking some questions and I would have been responding. So if there's anyone who has questions, 5 minutes or 10 minutes to respond to your questions. And Natasha Sivande, thank you very much. Our wife, appreciate so much. I'm humbled. Thank you very much. So I guess what I've said and some other things that maybe you might want to add on will be very helpful to build your marriage, very help to please your husband. And also, once you please your husband, just expect to have peace in your marriage. Just expect happiness in marriage. Very simple. Very simple to be happy in marriage. Just cause you towards the tongue. The tongue that you have as a wife can break, can build. Keep that in mind. Palulimi pale respect, pale disrespect. So it depends on how you use it. Palulimi pala peni pale. Out of disrespect, people of my lack of submission. Out of respect, people of my submission. With the ability of not nagging, having the ability not to nag, parulimi pale pachita build your marriage. It can build your marriage and make it last forever. Do these things to your husband. Make him happy, please him, so that even your neighbors learn from you. Be a role model to your neighbors. They know how you treat. They shouldn't know that you disrespect your husband. They shouldn't know that you're not submissive to your husband. They should not know that you nag too much. Nga neighboring bikamwachi kamwana kanona kamukashana limbero keshire muchupu karasambira kwenshi kuyo mukalambosha kwa tomchenshi. So be respectful, show submissiveness, and become a role model. It's out of that where you even become marriage counselors. It's because of what you do. You become a role model and people use you to teach or train other upcoming young girls who want to get married. Now, do you want to be a very bad role model to the young ones? You are the one who are making people, these young ones, to not to believe in marriage. It's because of your disrespectful behavior. Lack of submission. You're not being submissive to others. You are busy and gossiping in one of it, talking about your husband, this and that, disrespecting your husband. Sende chupo panze mambo kulashimikira abanenu abo abanenu membika ichi palimo finish of all assembly yako. You are older than her, so you need to show some submissiveness and also secrecy. Even if you have different